Welcome to another deep dive with us.
Glad to be back.
So today we're diving into this idea of Miracle Mode 247. It's from this YouTube video with kind of a bold title.
It's already yours. The Secret to Living in Miracle Mode 247.
Right from a channel called the Divinely Aligned Channel.
Mm-hmm.
And the creator, who just goes by Courtney,
Right.
she claims to be living in this miracle mode
Yeah.
and promises to kind of show you how to do the same.
Right.
But the language in the video, it's definitely like very out there.
Yeah, it's
you know,
vibrant.
spiritual terms and imagery.
Right.
We're going to try to sift through that and pull out what she's really talking about when she says miracle mode.
Okay.
How does video define that?
Well, she emphasizes these unexpected and unexplainable events as the hallmarks of miracles.
Okay.
She also very strongly connects miracles to a shift from fear to love.
Okay.
She claims that when you're living in miracle mode, you're constantly receiving the things you need, even beyond your wildest dreams.
She actually says that miracles help us live beyond our wildest dreams.
Yeah.
What do you think about that from like a psychological perspective?
Well,
Can you really shift your mindset and then suddenly miracles start happening?
it's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
There's a growing body of research on the power of belief and the placebo effect.
Right.
And studies show that our expectations can have a real impact on our experiences,
Right.
even on a physical level.
Really?
So if we believe something is possible, we're more likely to notice the evidence that confirms that belief.
So if we start believing that we're living in a world of miracles,
Right.
then we might actually start seeing more miracles around us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like priming your brain to recognize and appreciate those unexpected positive events.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So it sounds like what Courtney is saying is that miracles aren't just these rare, random
Yeah.
occurrences.
Right.
It's more about like a way of being in the world.
Yeah. A way of being.
And one of the most striking things she says in the video
Okay.
is, you are the miracle.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about miracles being our birthright, tied to our true frequency or divinity.
Right.
Very interesting how the video blends these spiritual concepts with self-empowerment.
Yeah, I think there's something to that.
This idea that we are inherently miraculous
Mm-hmm.
could be a way of tapping into our own potential.
Yeah.
She uses this very evocative language like anchoring the light or raising the frequency.
Mhm.
What do you think about that language?
Well, it definitely evokes a sense of being connected to something larger than ourselves. There's this feeling of energy vibrancy,
Okay.
limitless possibility.
So it sounds almost euphoric.
Yes, and that aligns with research on positive emotions.
Okay.
When we experience joy, gratitude, love, we tend to be more open to new experiences and more resilient in the face of challenges. It's like
Yeah.
we're operating at a higher level of awareness.
And Courtney is very clear that miracle mode isn't some passive state of waiting for good things to happen.
Right.
She says we really have to take action and align our actions with our true frequency.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an important point. It's not just about wishful thinking,
Yeah.
but it's about actually creating a life that aligns with your desires and your values.
Yeah, creating that life.
Okay, but this is where I got a little confused
Okay.
because she's telling us to take action and align with our true frequency.
Uh-huh.
But then she also emphasizes letting go of control, knowing, figuring things out.
Yeah, that's the paradox.
How do we do both of those things
Right.
at the same time?
Right. Well, it's a common tension we see in a lot of spiritual traditions.
Okay.
The idea is that by surrendering control, by releasing our attachment to specific outcomes, we open ourselves to possibilities we might never have imagined.
So it's like we're taking action, but from a place of trust,
Yes.
rather than from a place of like fear or need.
Exactly.
Like trusting that the universe is going to support you. But how do we reconcile that with, wanting to plan or strategize or feeling like we're in charge of our own lives?
Right. Well, that's the ongoing dance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Finding that balance between effort and surrender, between taking inspired action and trusting that the universe will meet us halfway.
Yeah, I like that, taking inspired action.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about embodiment,
Right.
aligning with the frequency of miracles through actions, like choosing love,
Yeah.
sharing our magic, expressing ourselves authentically.
Okay.
What does that look like in a practical sense?
Well, it could involve things like practicing mindfulness and gratitude.
Okay.
These practices help us shift our perspective
Right.
and open ourselves to the abundance that already exists in our lives.
Right.
It's also about living in alignment with our values,
Right.
making choices that feel authentic to who we are.
So it's less about achieving a specific outcome and more about cultivating a way of being in the world.
Exactly. It's about embodying the qualities that we associate with miracles: love, joy, gratitude, compassion.
And that brings us to another interesting element of the video.
Okay.
Courtney's repeated references to life as a game we're playing. She even talks about the listener being a chosen one who volunteered for this human experience.
Right.
Why do you think she uses that kind of language?
Well, this game framing could be a way of detaching from the seriousness of life,
Oh.
of approaching challenges with more playfulness and creativity.
Yeah.
It could also be a way of reframing our perception of control.
Mm-hmm.
If we see life as a game, we're less likely to get caught up in the need to win or lose.
There's definitely a sense of fun and adventure in the way she talks about it,
Yeah.
even though she's dealing with some pretty heavy spiritual concepts.
Right.
And she's very clear that this is not a game in the sense of being trivial or meaningless.
Mm-hmm.
She believes there are real stakes involved. And that leads us to another intriguing aspect of the video. The dynamic between Courtney and something she calls Zero.
Okay.
What do you make of that?
Well, Zero seems to be a higher being or guide that Courtney channels, receiving information and instructions that she then relays to her viewers.
She even talks about Zero guiding her to create this particular video.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a sense that she's still figuring things out as she goes,
Yeah.
which makes the whole thing feel more relatable.
I think that vulnerability and authenticity can be very powerful.
Yeah.
It allows viewers to connect with her on a human level, even if they don't necessarily buy into the whole channeling aspect.
And her personality definitely adds to the intrigue.
Yeah.
She describes herself as messy, magical, magnetic.
Right.
And you can definitely feel that energy in her delivery. It's almost like she's inviting you to join her on this wild ride into miracle mode.
Yeah.
But how does this channeling dynamic fit into the idea of living in a constant state of miracles?
Right.
Is it like a requirement?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
The video doesn't explicitly say that you need to channel a higher being to experience miracles.
Okay.
However, it does suggest that being open to guidance and support from something greater than ourselves can enhance our ability to live in miracle mode.
So it's more about cultivating a sense of connection and trust in the universe.
Yes.
Whether that's through channeling prayer meditation
Mm-hmm.
or simply believing that we're not alone in this journey,
Exactly.
recognizing that we are part of something much larger than ourselves.
All right.
And we can tap into that power through various means.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've talked about mindset.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about action,
Right.
letting go of control. We've even touched on channeling.
Mm-hmm.
What about the actual experience of living in miracle mode?
Okay.
How does the video describe that?
Well, one of the most vivid descriptions comes in the visualization exercise she leads towards the end of the video.
Okay.
She calls it the miracle mode switch.
Ah, yes, the miracle mode switch.
Yeah.
Let's dive into that next.
Absolutely. That's where things get really interesting. In this miracle mode switch visualization, Courtney guides you to imagine a light switch in your heart.
And you're supposed to flip that switch on, right?
Exactly. She uses very evocative language describing this glowing white light
Okay.
that expands through your body and ripples out into the universe.
It sounds almost like a guided meditation.
It is very much like that,
Yeah.
using visualization to shift your energy and connect with a higher frequency,
She even talks about feeling a tingling sensation throughout your body
right?
as the light expands.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever tried anything like this?
I have experimented with various visualization techniques,
Uh-huh.
and there's definitely something to be said for the power of focused intention and imagery.
What do you think is happening on a neurological level when we engage in this kind of visualization?
Well, when we imagine something vividly, our brains actually fire in a similar way as if we were experiencing that thing in real life. So by visualizing ourselves being in miracle mode, feeling that joy, gratitude, and connection, we're essentially training our brains to believe it's possible.
So it's like we're creating a new neural pathway,
Uh-huh.
a new possibility for how we experience the world.
Precisely. And the more we reinforce that pathway through repetition and belief, the stronger it becomes.
Courtney also talks about the importance of feeling the emotions associated with miracle mode during the visualization.
Right.
She says things like, feel the love, feel the joy, feel the gratitude.
Mm.
Why is that important?
Emotions play a powerful role in shaping our reality.
Oh, okay.
When we feel positive emotions, we tend to attract more positive experiences into our lives.
So it's like we're sending out a signal
Right.
that attracts things of a similar frequency.
Exactly.
So it's not just about thinking positive thoughts.
Right.
It's about feeling those positive emotions in your body.
Exactly. It's about embodying that state of being,
Okay.
becoming a magnet for miracles.
Courtney also emphasizes that living in miracle mode isn't about becoming some kind of perfect, flawless being.
Right.
She even describes herself as messy, magical, magnetic.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It reminds us that we can embrace our imperfections and still be open to experiencing miracles.
Ah.
In fact, it's often in our messy human moments that the most profound transformations occur.
So it's not about denying our human experience,
Right.
but about finding the magic within it.
Precisely. It's about seeing the divine spark in ourselves and in everyone around us.
This all sounds incredibly inspiring,
Mm-hmm.
but I have to ask,
Okay.
is there any scientific evidence to support these claims?
Sure.
Is there any research that suggests that we can actually train our brains to experience more miracles?
Well, there isn't a specific miracle mode study out there,
Okay.
but there is a growing body of research on the power of belief and the placebo effect.
Uh-huh.
Studies have shown that our expectations can have a profound impact on our physical and mental health.
So if we believe we're capable of experiencing miracles,
Right.
that belief itself could create a shift in our reality.
That's one possible interpretation.
Okay.
And there's also research on the power of positive emotions and their impact on our well-being.
So even if we don't necessarily buy into the whole miracle mode concept, cultivating positive emotions like gratitude, joy, and love could still have a beneficial effect on our lives.
Absolutely. And those positive emotions can make us more receptive to the good things that are already happening around us, which could lead to a greater sense of synchronicity and serendipity.
It's like we're tuning our internal radio to a different frequency, one that's aligned with abundance and possibility,
That's a great analogy.
like tuning a radio.
And just like tuning a radio, it takes some effort and intention to find that sweet spot.
Okay, so let's say we want to give this miracle mold thing a try.
Okay.
What are some practical steps we can take to cultivate that mindset and start experiencing those unexpected, unexplainable events?
Well, the video suggests starting with simple practices like mindfulness and gratitude.
We hear about those things a lot, but how do they specifically relate to experiencing miracles?
Mindfulness helps us become more aware of the present moment,
Okay.
which is where miracles often unfold.
Right.
When we're not caught up in our thoughts about the past or worries about the future, we're more likely to notice those synchronicities and opportunities that might otherwise pass us by.
So instead of living on autopilot,
Right.
we're more present and attuned to what's happening around us.
Exactly. And gratitude helps us shift our focus from what we lack to what we have,
Okay.
which opens us up to receiving even more abundance.
It's like we're sending a signal to the universe
Right.
that we're ready for more good things.
And the universe tends to respond in kind.
Courtney also talks about the importance of expressing ourselves authentically,
Oh.
sharing our unique gifts with the world.
Right.
How does that fit into the whole miracle mode equation?
When we're living in alignment with our true selves, we're naturally more joyful, more energized, and more magnetic.
Okay.
We attract people and opportunities that resonate with our authentic expression.
So it's not just about receiving miracles.
Right.
It's about becoming a source of miracles for others.
Precisely. We are all interconnected, and our actions have ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves.
One thing I've been wondering about is the role of challenges in miracle mode.
Okay.
Life is full of ups and downs, right?
Sure.
So how do we deal with the inevitable difficulties while still maintaining that sense of being in this miraculous flow?
That's a great question, and it's something Courtney addresses in the video.
Okay.
She acknowledges that life is not always going to be sunshine and rainbows,
Right.
even when we're aligned with our miracle mode.
So it's not about pretending that everything is perfect all the time.
Not at all. It's about approaching challenges with a different perspective. Instead of seeing them as setbacks or failures,
Right.
we can view them as opportunities for growth and learning.
So it's about reframing our perception of challenges.
Exactly. And it's also about trusting that even in the midst of difficulty, there is a higher purpose at play.
She even suggests that sometimes those challenges are actually nudging us in the right direction, even if it doesn't feel like it at the time.
That's a powerful way to look at it.
Yeah.
And it can be very liberating to release the need to control every outcome and trust that the universe is ultimately guiding us towards our highest good.
Okay, so we've talked about mindset actions dealing with challenges,
Mm-hmm.
but there's one more piece of the puzzle that I'm really curious about.
Okay.
Courtney mentions these things called light language and miracle codes.
Ah, yes, those are definitely intriguing elements of the video.
Can you explain what those are and how they relate to living in miracle mode?
Light language is often described as a form of nonverbal communication that bypasses the rational mind
Okay.
and speaks directly to the soul.
So it's not something you can easily translate into words or concepts.
Not necessarily, it's more about feeling the energy and vibration of the sounds. Courtney demonstrates some light language in the video,
Uh-huh.
and it definitely has a very unique, almost otherworldly quality to it.
And what about these miracle codes?
Right.
What are those supposed to be?
That's a bit more ambiguous.
Okay.
She doesn't provide a clear definition, but she implies that they're like keys that unlock our potential and activate our ability to experience miracles.
So it's almost like a secret code that we need to decipher.
That's one way to look at it. And she suggests that we can access these miracle codes through intuition meditation
Uh-huh.
and simply being open to receiving guidance from the universe.
It all sounds very mysterious and a bit overwhelming, to be honest.
It can be, especially if you're approaching it from a purely rational perspective.
Right.
But if you're willing to suspend disbelief and embrace the unknown, there's a sense of wonder and possibility that comes with exploring these concepts.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Mindset, actions, challenges, light language, miracle codes. It seems like there are many different facets to this miracle mode idea.
Right.
But one thing I'm still not entirely clear on is what it actually feels like to be in that state.
Okay.
Can you paint a picture for us based on what we've learned from the video?
Sure.
What's it like to actually live in miracle mode 24/7?
That's a great question, and it's something Courtney tries to convey throughout the video.
Uh-huh.
Based on what she shares, it seems like living in miracle mode is a state of heightened awareness,
Okay.
where you're constantly attuned to the synchronicities and opportunities that are unfolding around you.
So you're more present, more engaged with life.
Exactly, and there's a deep sense of trust and surrender.
Okay.
You know, that even when things are challenging, you're being guided and supported by something greater than yourself.
It sounds almost effortless,
Mm-hmm.
like you're flowing through life with ease and grace.
There's definitely a sense of flow, but it's not necessarily about things being easy all the time.
Right.
It's more about having a different perspective on challenges, seeing them as opportunities for growth and transformation.
And what about the emotional experience?
Mhm.
What does it feel like on an emotional level to be in miracle mode?
Well, Courtney talks a lot about feeling joy, gratitude, love, and a deep sense of connection.
Okay.
It's like those positive emotions become your default state even when things aren't going your way.
So it's like you're radiating those positive emotions outward,
Yeah.
attracting more good things into your life.
Exactly. It's a self-reinforcing cycle.
Uh-huh.
And there's also a sense of playfulness and adventure, like you're embracing life with a childlike sense of wonder.
It sounds almost too good to be true.
Yeah.
Is it really possible to maintain that state of being all the time?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's one that each individual has to answer for themselves.
So it's not like flipping a switch
Right.
and then you're suddenly in miracle mode forever.
It's more like an ongoing practice,
Okay.
a commitment to cultivating those beliefs and aligning your actions with your highest intentions.
And even then, there will be moments when we fall out of alignment, when we experience doubt, fear, or frustration.
Absolutely. We're human after all.
Right.
But the key is to keep coming back to that place of trust and surrender,
Mm-hmm.
to keep reminding ourselves that we are inherently miraculous beings.
It sounds like living in miracle mode is a journey, not a destination.
Exactly. It's about embracing the mystery and magic of life and trusting that we're exactly where we need to be.
So we've explored what it might be like to actually experience miracle mode.
Right.
But at the end of the video, Courtney presents a final challenge to the listener, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. It's an invitation to really step into that miracle mode energy.
So she wants the viewer to say these affirmations.
Uh-huh.
And she's saying, like, this will shift your reality.
Right. She says, I am the miracle. I am the magic. I am the light. I am the love. I am the one. I am the way. I am limitless. I am divinity. I am here on earth to play.
Wow, that's
It.
a mouthful.
Yeah, what do you think about repeating affirmations like that? Well, when you repeat affirmations with conviction, it can really shift your beliefs.
Uh-huh.
It helps to align yourself with a more positive and empowered self-image.
Oh, you're like rewiring your brain
Right.
to see yourself in the world in a new light.
Exactly. By repeatedly affirming these positive statements,
Mm-hmm.
you're creating new neural pathways that reinforce those beliefs.
And it doesn't stop there.
Nope.
She also tells you to ask Source, to bring you the magic and the miracles you need to live a life beyond your wildest dreams.
Presumably like a higher power, divine intelligence.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so this act of surrender, asking for help from something bigger than ourselves.
Can be pretty liberating. You're releasing the burden of trying to control everything, and
Yeah.
you trust that you are being guided and supported.
So it's like we're stepping into a partnership with the universe.
Exactly. And when we're aligned with our highest purpose and open to receiving guidance, the possibilities are truly limitless.
Okay, so after all of this,
Yeah.
is it really possible to live in miracle mode all the time?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
And I think it's up to each individual to decide.
Oh.
This video we explored definitely offers a unique perspective.
Huh?
It blends spirituality, self-belief, and a playful approach to life.
Right.
Encourages us to embrace the unexpected, to trust our intuition, and to see ourselves as inherently miraculous.
I think it's a call to step outside our comfort zones,
Yeah.
to challenge our limiting beliefs and create a life that's aligned with our deepest desires.
And it reminds us that we're not alone on this journey.
Mhm.
We have access to a limitless source of guidance and support if we're open to receiving it.
This deep dive has been quite the journey.
I agree.
A lot of really profound concepts, some unique language, but I think we've managed to extract some valuable insights.
Yeah, I think we did a good job of unpacking it.
Yeah, we examined the psychology behind the claims,
Right.
explored the potential benefits and challenges,
Right.
and we considered how all of this relates to actually experiencing what Courtney calls miracle mode.
Right.
And ultimately, it's up to each listener to decide what resonates with them
Right.
and how they want to integrate these ideas into their own lives.
What actions they want to take.
Right.
Perhaps the most important takeaway is the reminder that we have the power to choose our beliefs, our attitudes, and our actions.
Yeah.
And those choices shape our experience of the world.
So if we want to experience more magic, more miracles,
Yeah.
more joy in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
it starts with cultivating a mindset
Right.
that is open to possibility, embraces the unknown, and trusts in the inherent goodness of the universe.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, by shifting our perspective and aligning ourselves with a higher frequency, we can indeed create a life that is nothing short of miraculous.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
It was my pleasure.